Hello, good afternoon, and welcome everyone. My name is Ravi Ranjan, and I'm really glad to invite all of you for the exclusive launch of C-Day by IncubateHub and Venture Catalyst Group. We'll wait for 1 minute before we start the event so that all our guests can join in. Stay tuned. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in today. As I mentioned earlier, it's indeed a pleasure for me to welcome all of you for this very interesting and exclusive launch of the C-Day event. Before we start the event, I would like to quickly share some technical details with all of you. Today, we are using Zoom webinar, which is different from the Zoom meeting mode. On this mode, you will be able to watch the entire presentation, ask questions. However, you would not be able to unmute your microphone or switch on your video. However, during the event and during the Q&A, if you require any specific information to be shared, you can let me know by clicking the option called raise hand, and I'll be able to pass on the mic access to you. Also, once the startup presentations are going on, you can put down your queries on the Q&A dashboard, or you can use chat option as well. Today, this is how the event is planned. We would start with a quick update about the very interesting initiative which we are going to launch today. Then we would have our co-founder, Dr. Apoor Ranjan Sharma, and Mr. Anuj Bulachar come and share their insights and their perspective about this very interesting initiative which we have. We then have the IncubateHub team talking about this initiative, and finally we would have some very interesting startups coming and presenting their solution. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and talk about the launch of the Corporate Day, also known as C-Day. C-Day is first of its kind initiative by any VC, and it's designed exclusively for startups and corporates to ensure that they are able to achieve mutual benefit. The initiative C-Day is powered by IncubateHub. It's backed by 9Unicorn, India's first Accelerator fund, and Venture Catalyst, India's #1 and world's #2 early stage investment network. I'm very glad to share that we have 70+ corporates, which include many of Fortune 500 companies attending this event today. We also have the co-founders of the group, Dr. Apoor Ranjan Sharma, Mr. Anuj Jain, Gaurav Jain, Anil Jainji, Rajiv, Pradeep, and Uday from both the sides, which includes the Venture Catalyst Group and IncubateHub. And also, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Ms. Shivika from our group to lead this initiative and strategize. Without any further ado, I would like to invite our first speaker for the day to come and share their perspective. Allow me a second, please. Before we invite our first speaker, I would like to take this opportunity to invite Mr. Anuj Bulachar, co-founder Venture Catalyst Group, to share the welcome remarks with all the guests and share his insight and his input on, primarily first IncubateHub and this very unique initiative which is being launched today. Anuj, before I invite Anuj, let me take this opportunity to share a brief introduction about Anuj. CA Anuj Bulachar, an active angel member himself, Anuj is the co-founder at Venture Catalyst Group. Anuj is one of the top 10 prolific angel investors in India as rated by VC Circle, and a seasoned financial advisor with over 15 years of expertise. He has invested in now close to 100 startups, including successful companies such as BharatPe, Beardo, Find, Super Daily, Innovate, Sifter, and many more. Anuj has also been awarded 40 under 40 Alternative Investment Professionals in India by Association of International Wealth Management of India in 2018. And he has received the recognition by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi at the Special Commission under Niti Aayog and Swachhta Hi Seva by Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. He is a certified chartered accountant and also a second generation partner at Bansi Jain and Associates. Thanks a lot, Anuj, for taking out time. Request you to share your opening remarks before I invite you once again to lead the presentation. Anuj, over to you. Thank you.
Yes, Ravi, thank you and welcome to all the participants, attendees from various corporates, the startups which are presenting, and the entire team at Venture Catalyst Group, IncubateHub. Uh, uh, our association with IncubateHub is now for more than 2 years old. And the idea was, while IncubateHub was engaging a lot with corporates and the startup ecosystem, and we, as Venture Catalyst and 9 Unicorns, have been investing and mentoring a lot of startups. Today in our portfolio, almost 240 plus companies which are unique in nature. We felt this partnership and association with Incubate Hub would enhance the support which we would provide to our startups and overall startup ecosystem in India. And today I'm very glad that we have launched our first initiative in that direction. The theme-based accelerator, more importantly, being one of its kind in India. It's definitely there globally, but one of its kind in India, where we would want to focus on specific cohorts, companies from coming from specific sectors, and support these companies in different ways, right from top line push to providing multiple supports, and Venture Catalyst and 9 Unicorns providing the capital support in the journey. So welcome all of you. Looking forward to the event.
Lord Anuj, really appreciate that. We would also hear from Dr. Apoor Ranjan Sharma shortly. While he's joining, there is some technical issue. I would now invite Pradeep, co-founder Incubate Hub, to come and share, your thoughts with the August gathering today. Pradeep, over to you.
Hey, hi, welcome all. So Pradeep, I'm one of the co-founders at Incubator. We are glad to launch the CXO Day, as well as glad to launch the theme-based accelerator, which is industry-based, and we are very much focused on the retail and CPG. So we are looking forward to work very closely with the corporate innovation ecosystem, as well as the entrepreneurial ecosystem, which includes startups, scale-ups, VCs as well. So looking forward for a great launch here. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Pradeep. Really appreciate that. I would now like to take this opportunity to introduce our co-founder, Dr. Apurva Ranjan Sharma, before he comes and share his thought and also walk all of us through a brief presentation. Dr. Apurva Ranjan Sharma is the co-founder of Venture Catalyst and 9 Unicorn. Under his leadership, Venture Catalyst has become world's second most active incubator and early stage investor, and from last 4 consecutive years stood #1 investment group in India. The group has invested in 207 plus startups, built an ecosystem of 5,500 plus angel investors across 40 cities in India and 5 regions globally. Dr. Sharma is the first PhD in incubation from India, acclaimed globally. He holds an MBA, BTech from reputed institutions, and diploma in mentoring studies from UC Berkeley. Dr. Sharma has been mentoring and investing in startups since 2002. He has established more than 12 incubators. Dr. Sharma is also actively contributing towards the startup ecosystem growth in India, along with various central government initiatives, and he's currently on board of Technology Development Board of Department of Science and Technology India. He's also on board of Samrit by METI, Ministry of Electronics and Information. In 2012, with Venture Nursery, Dr. Sharma invested in Oyo Rooms as the first investor and mentor, which is today the most valued startup globally, one of the most valued with over 10 billion valuation, soon to be going for IPO. In 2017, with Venture Catalyst, he invested in Beardo as the first investor mentor, which went on to become India's fastest growing men's grooming brand and was successfully acquired by Marico. Some of his other successful portfolio includes companies such as BharatPay, Vedantu, ShipRocket, Super Daily, Innovate, Find, and 30 plus multi-bagger exits. Dr. Sharma has been an active angel investor and awarded for his contribution by President of India and two of the biggest industrialists of India, Mr. Narayana Murthy and Mr. Ratan Tata. Dr. Sharma, welcome to the launch of C-Day and the theme-based Accelerator. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome. Please share your thoughts. I have a presentation as well. Let me know when we can start that.
Yeah, you can start that. First of all, thank you, Ravi, for inviting us for this August gathering. Uh, you know, in last couple of years, we have realized that the one of the most important leg of this startup ecosystem are the corporates, which is where our startups are not only getting business, but also they are actually getting acquired or getting strategic investment support. That's when, while you see today India, now everybody is talking about like today India is going to be a startup nation or India is going to be a startup economy. The emergence of this is quite visible. But 6 years back when we started Venture Catalyst, that time India was, I would say, maybe 10,000 startup or 15, 20,000 startup economy, right? And 3 years back, when we started associating that IncubateHub, we realized that the missing link in India is the corporate in venturing, CVCs, and that needs to go to the next level. Of course, now you have 1,500 to 2,000 VCs in India, micro VCs and large VCs. You have around 60,000 startups in India. You have many accelerators in India, but what is important was the people who can elevate the business potential, especially the companies which can take it, these who can recognize the value of the innovation done by these startups and give them the real business to apply that to various use cases. One of the first instance we had was the Beardo. When we invested in this Ahmedabad-based startup, which was based and which was into men's grooming. Of course, they came out with a very unique proposition of, the with the men's grooming products. We realized that the growth of Beardo was very much going to next level after they got associated with Marico. Marico shown interest and also invested in them within 6 months of our investments. And later on, when they crossed 100 crore revenue, they were fully acquired by Beardo, by Marico. Marico also invested in another company of ours, which is into gummies, power gummies. So they also recently invested. In fact, in that company, Wipro, and also invested. Wipro's arm also invested. A couple of large corporates invested, and that's when we realized that, especially the companies where India has, especially some sectors where very large MNCs and very large corporates are there. Those sectors, of course, need supports as well as strategic co-investments. So we set up this fund called Venture Cat 9 Unicorn, which is $100 million fund, which is available to invest in startups, and we invest in idea stage from there. Last year we would have done maybe 100 plus investments so far. So great to I would like to first of all welcome all of you to come and join this journey of IncubateHub with us. IncubateHub, which is a company which is now everybody knows that they are one of the best in corporate innovations, and they are one of the best companies in India. Not only India, now they are expanding their base outside India. Very dedicated, dedicated team, and their execution capability of running CPG programs is amazing. So we were fortunate to get associated with them in this space, and we are looking forward both venture capitalists and 9 unicorns are looking to, brew the companies, brew the new concepts, alongside with the corporates that they bring onto the table. So that will definitely create some valuable innovations for the corporates. Here I end my conversation, and I would like Ravi to take it forward from here. In the end, I would like to
Dr.
say
Sharma,
that,
we have a quick presentation. I would request you if you can just walk us
okay.
through with that.
Yes, yes, please go to the next. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. So this theme-based accelerator, I think Anuj is going to speak about it, or should I pick it up, this part?
Yeah, Purva, I can take it up, not an
Yeah,
issue.
yeah, yeah. Please, please, please. So just to start with this theme-based accelerator program, I'm just giving you heads up to Anuj. Go to the slide, Ravi. This theme-based accelerator, the earlier the India startup economy was just 20-30,000. Now, when you're touching a lakh startup economy, there is a sense to do theme-based accelerator programs, right? Because you have enough numbers, and the maximum numbers are in fintech and D2C, right? And that is why Anuj and Rajiv and all this team thought of doing theme-based acceleration program, which I'd request Anuj to talk more about it. And I'll keep on adding in between. Please, Anuj.
Yeah, thank you, Purvai. And so fundamentally, just continuing to what he has been mentioning, there is enough number of companies who can provide solutions, services, or be acquired on the supply side. And this entire supply aggregation in this theme-based accelerator format, we are bringing on board directly the startups. We are partnering with multiple system integrators. We are partnering with multiple incubators, academia, and other people in the ecosystem to generate the supply. And obviously, on the other side, like Apurva bhai mentioned, that fintech, D2C, these are two sectors where there has been the maximum interest. For example, already a couple of names Apurva bhai has mentioned, and there are the other players like Imami and Unilever, and a lot of these guys who are not just only focusing on bringing sustainable and scalable solutions in their own enterprises, but are also looking to invest in such companies, looking to engage in various manners. So we've also had relationships with the likes of Yes Bank or HDFC or Access on the fintech side, where there's a lot of demand which is coming on those sectors. So the idea came where we should do these theme-based accelerators, bring all different pieces to the ecosystem in these theme-based accelerators. And today, this is like a launch of that initiative where we have started with specific corporates. And under these themes, we will get a lot of CXOs, a lot of mentors, investors, co-investors, people who will provide different kind of support system to our various startups in due course, and you will see more and more such initiatives coming in these TBAs.
Great. Anuj, I'm moving on to the next segment
Yeah,
for the
sure,
presentation.
sure. Yeah. And the engagement obviously can happen from purely from corporate perspectives on multiple areas, while there is a lot of innovation which can be looked at. There will also be a lot of deal flow where such startups can be onboarded, where the corporates can engage and give POCs or businesses to these startups. And likewise, we will keep on showing companies where investment can happen from the corporate world, either directly or acquisition or acqui-hire or in some manners. And we have also seen globally that a lot of corporates have participated in multiple funds, which are again theme based by becoming LPs in such funds. So such opportunities are also being presented to the corporates as well as the community around it. And of course, this all will help in engagement and better and more active uh, objective networking within the industry peers and different stakeholders. And to bring all of these things into place, we've thought a lot. We've spent almost 2.5 months before the launch of this event. So particularly for this particular sector, etc., we will start with a small corpus of around 3 million US dollars, around 20 crore rupees dedicated to investing in startups which are coming from idea stage to seed stage. And this will happen through 9 unicorns. And we will also invite a lot of all of you to participate as an investor in such deals and be a part of this initiative. And this will run more on a cohort basis. Every cohort will have a certain number of startups, which will eventually culminate into C days like today or demo days where the startups can raise more capital. And these are such initiatives which, as an ecosystem, we have been taking successfully. We have our own set of IC uh, for curating the startups which should be part of this program, and this IC is formed by a lot of experts like you who are able to provide their insights when it comes to evaluation and investment in these sector specific companies. Anything, Apurva, you would want to add on
Yeah,
this?
yeah. So just to tell you, for example, when we are launching, sector focused, let's start with the D2C, which is what we are talking about. We already have 75 portfolio companies in D2C, and these are all across stages. Some of them have crossed $100 million value, some of them crossed $500 million valuation. Some of them are idea stage companies becoming potentially going to be. So there is, across stages, there is a learning of 75 companies with us, right? That is the point number one. Point number two, in that stage, and this will talk when we launch the other sectors also, we'll talk about that. Across these stages, various VCs who have invested in these startups, right, they're also accessible, right? When these idea stage companies, which we develop with along with you guys and with your support, the challenge of investment is not there. The challenge of development will not be there because we have strong support systems available for these startups to go to the next level. So just wanted to add this point, Anuj Bhai, on this conversation.
Yeah, yeah, yes. And fundamentally, what as a group, Venture Catalyst as a syndication platform, and 9 unicorns as an accelerator fund, and our different initiative like a Beams fund, which is purely fintech focused. We are coming as investors on one side, and on the other side, we have also brought a lot of different partners and players. So for the participants over here, we would be consistently bringing deal flow for investments as well as innovations. There will be contracts and all legal work done by us pre this C day or D day as we call. We also have created a unique platform, first of its kind, developed by an Indian player called V Network. That is also something which is going to transform the way how mentoring can be done or how support system can be raised by the startups from different players. And that's a proprietary platform which as a group we have created. Shivika has initiated that, and she may speak about it during the course of this event. And alongside, you will come to know the latest trends, insights on the specific sectors apart from the networking opportunities. Today, of course, it's a virtual day. Gradually, as we move forward, we may also do some physical events for a lot of us to participate. Yes, Ravi. Thank you.
That's it. That brings us to the end of the presentation. I think Dr. Sharma and Anuj both very briefly and very in a very concise way spoke about the importance of creating this theme-based accelerator. Also, the opportunity to bring corporates on one side and startups on the other side. And to take this to the next level, we have with us a very, very interesting speaker who would share more details about it. Let me take this opportunity to invite our next speaker by introducing him. We have with us Mr. Sameer Dhingra. Sameer is Director of Retail and Consumer for Google Cloud JPAC. As Head of Retail and Consumer Industry, Sameer leads the Google Cloud strategy, product solutions, and go-to-market across APAC, working at the intersection of consumer, technology, and retail. Sameer works with top retailers and brands, helping them to scale, drive technology innovation, and accelerate digital transformation. Before joining Google, Sameer was the Managing Director Asia Pacific for a leading PE-backed software firm in the retail and consumer domain, focusing on AI and computer vision solutions. Prior to this, he was the global domain leader for retail and distribution industries for HP, where he led the WW sales, strategy, technology platforms, partner ecosystem, and execution around retail, CPG, and distribution channel. He holds a master's degree in business management from Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and he's currently based out of Singapore. Samir, indeed a pleasure to host you to this event. Thank you so much for taking out time from a busy schedule. We understand you are a very busy person, but really appreciate this on behalf of Venture Catalyst Group. Welcome here. Dr. Sharma, if you'd like to welcome Samir, please.
So first of all, thank you, Samir Bhai. It is a great to have you here. And this is an initiative which is going to impact the life of many entrepreneurs. We're really thankful for you to take out time and be patient on coming and hearing us also. Thank you, and over to you, Samir Bhai. Take it from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma. Can you hear me well?
Very well. We can hear you. We can see your presentation as well. Thank you.
Fantastic. So thank you so much, Dr. Sharma, and thank you to the team for giving me the opportunity to talk today and share some of my thoughts. And really a wonderful initiative and a fantastic platform for the startups to showcase their capabilities. I'm really looking forward to it. So I think what I want to just do today is to, in the context that you have set, share a little bit my perspective and learnings from what I'm seeing across in the market, and also some trends which are beginning to map out. As a result of which, what are the things that some of the retailers and brands have to look for while leveraging technology to drive innovation in the respective organization. And I think it is perfect opportunity to also then correlate these thoughts with the kind of startups and companies that you have in your portfolio and also which are showcasing today, because most of them and all of them are very, very relevant solutions required in the market today. So with that, let me start my discussion. You guys can see my screen, right? Because I can't look at the presentation.
Yes, pretty well, Samir, yes.
Okay, fantastic. So I think really in the last 2 years, have been really, really transformational. And you would have seen it from your own shopping experiences. Retail really has been at the forefront of this change, only that now the retailers have to do it better, faster, more efficiently, digitally, and more integrated. So I think it's a much, much more challenging task. But I think what has happened in the last couple of years also is the way that shopping has taken an unexpected turn. If you look at it, in-store shopping has become much more functional. You don't want to go to the stores and spend too much time. You want to just quickly go in and go out. As a result of which, your baskets, the time you spend in the store has come down, but your basket size has gone up, and you're not spending too much time in assortments and looking at the categories. It has really become a chore. But on the other hand, the online sales and the e-commerce has really become experiential. So we see shoppers are now enjoying their research. There is a lot more personalization of the content. They're exploring new products. They're learning something new. So this has really dramatically altered the equation in terms of how the shopping is being perceived today in the minds of consumers. But at the same time, as this is moving more and more towards digital, the purchase journeys are becoming messier and messier. So, I'm showing you this this animation. We call this the messy middle, in the sense that, as and when you look at a shopping journey, it is no longer a linear journey. So, we go through 15 different touch points before we actually make up our minds. And as a result of which, it is now extremely, extremely difficult for the brands and retailers to navigate this ecosystem and navigate the customer journey and mindset. At the same time, all of you, would be seeing tremendous challenges in the supply chain. I can tell you when I go to the stores, or I'm sure when you're going to the stores, not all assortments are on the shelf. Some of them are really missing, not available. Supply chains are disrupted. At the same time, in the minds of consumer, the behaviors are shifting towards more sustainable products. It is not really too much evident today, but they're thinking, and it's really, really precipitating the thought process from a retailers and brands perspective. And of course, with all the chaos happening in the market with the pandemic, there are labor shortages and there are productivity issues that the retail ecosystem is severely, severely facing. I just want to take a step back and focus a little bit on the Indian context. So even though social and apps and website are the dominant source of influence, but stores are here to stay. So traditional trade and stores and physical stores are not going to go away. So this creates a little bit more complex and hybrid environment where, and that's a challenge, and that's, how do you manage that angle and how do you manage that environment becomes the key. I think the other thing which is also happening is the rise of local brands, private labels. So many new brands are coming up, as a result of which, again, the choices are tremendous. How do you go to market? How do you engage the customer? Becomes really, really key. And you're seeing that now in new business models which are erupting in India. Not a day goes by where you do not see a new way of reaching out to customers or somebody experimenting with a different channel and making it a success. So I think all this is really, really creating a lot of dynamic environment in the retail ecosystem, especially in India, where it is really on fire, if I may say so. So if you take a step back and begin to look at a few of these big shifts which are happening. So the top line, let me start off with some of the big consumer things that we are seeing, and how do we relate that to the technology impact that they are creating from a retailer and brands perspective, and how is this relevant now from the startup ecosystem from a perspective which is really driving the innovation in the retail industry. So first and foremost is ubiquitous digital shopping, and basically this is all a mix and combination of channel-ish experience. How do you really provide that or build the platforms on your ecosystem to be able to provide the experiences that the shoppers are looking for? And the other thing which is happening in this whole digital shopping framework is that it's a convergence of retail and media. So we find a lot of media companies which are converging to become commerce platforms, and vis-a-vis, you see a lot of retailers who are now foraying into the media and entertainment because they are engaging with shoppers at this convergence point. And of course, tremendous rise of marketplaces is also having a major impact on this angle. I think frictionless experience, a lot of work is happening on this with respect to the way shoppers are engaging with your platforms and your brands. So chat-based commerce or voice and text. So these are new ways of so conversational commerce. These are new ways of engaging. Of course, you have to figure out a way then to personalize this whole shopping experience in the right context. And fulfillment and last mile delivery or omni fulfillment, these are now table stakes. So are extremely, extremely important to build that frictionless experience that you're talking about. I think living in metaverse is relatively recent, but we see shoppers and consumers getting comfortable in the virtual space. And as a result, the expectation is that they want the brands to also be present and to be able to interact with them. So this then opens up a whole new chapter with respect to the innovation which is being driven within the retail industry across the world. I think the last but not the least from a consumer perspective is really this growing awareness and especially from the environment perspective and especially from a sustainability angle. And this is then having a major impact, forcing and precipitating the retailers to start thinking about where they source their material, how are they manufacturing it, what is the distribution process, what is the returns model, and how do you really optimize this whole framework to drive sustainability in retail. I think when you look at some of these broader perspectives, from a technology perspective, cloud is really driving this transformational change. And one of the biggest elements is the ability to harness your first-party data. So ability to collect data across multiple silos, to be able to process, to be able to then consume and build a system of insights becomes the key. New revenue streams, everybody is looking for that, especially now, and which is very, very evident in this whole convergence of retail and media networks that we see. Uh, Supply chain, I think this is where we are seeing a lot of activity within the retail environment, where retailers are beginning to take ownership of their own supply chains, as a result of which optimizing and building more efficiencies in their whole procurement and supply chain ecosystems. A lot of technology, AI, ML capabilities are being used to optimize multiple use cases, whether it is demand forecasting or whether it is last mile fulfillment and so on and so forth. I think from a store modernization perspective, this is extremely key. Once the dust settles down a little bit from an e-commerce angle, the attention is shifting now towards modernization of stores or store transformation. And there are multiple hotspots there currently, right from ensuring that there is product discovery capabilities when the shopper comes in, to making your associates more productive, to be able to service the customers, to innovations in checkout and transactions, to innovations in fulfillments and returns. But I think most importantly, which is the foundational area, is really on the infrastructure and application modernization, which needs to happen within the store environment to really create the foundational technology layer on which you can build those experiences. So unless you build those foundational layers, you cannot really drive the experiences within the customer environment. So I hope it gives you a little bit of a perspective of where the innovation is happening. I think when you relate that to now what's happening in Indian retail ecosystem, and we do this very interesting study every year called Retail Digital Pulse, which really measures the digital maturity of the Indian retail ecosystem and across multiple markets in Asia Pacific. I'm showing you the Asia Pacific view, and the way we look at it is stage 1 to stage 4. Stage 1 being the digital participant, the lowest stage of digital maturity, and stage 4 being the digitally resilient retailer. And what we are finding across markets is that majority of the retailers are still in the early stages of digital maturity. So we find that typically, across the APAC markets, you'll say close to about 45% or so are about 75% or so are in the stage 1 and stage 2. Now, I look at this from the perspective, from a positive side, that look, here is a realization where people are really focusing on technology and trying to get digitally resilient, but you see a huge opportunity where you can build an innovation ecosystem, a startup ecosystem, to really drive and accelerate this digital transformation within the retail environment across different segments. And I think this is where I wanted to spend a little bit of time. So when you look across specifically in India, you will find that in the Indian retail ecosystem, about 65% of retail is still in stage 1. You will see flashes of brilliance, 10-12% in stage 3, stage 4, which are mostly digitally native organizations, but primarily about 25% in stage 2, but primarily you'll see majority in stage 1 and stage 2. As a result of which, you will find different drivers and challenges for these organizations as we begin to engage them in their digital transformation journey. obviously customer experience, is always on top of the mind with respect to drivers. And there's also one interesting one that, where most of the retailers, they want to become tech companies. So I think, some of these are interesting drivers. But when you look at challenges, and this is specific to India, and in India, the number one challenge obviously has come out as the lack of necessary technologies. I wouldn't say it is the lack of necessary technologies. I would say it is most of lack of awareness that these technologies exist, because the technologies do exist, but I think where we have a big challenge is more in terms of the culture and the mindset, and the understanding of digital transformation and how to leverage this to drive the same. So I think it's interesting to sort of see how organizations are thinking. But where have they been focusing? Where is innovation happening in the last 12 months? And what we're seeing is that majority retailers are focusing tremendously on building their customer data platforms, on building their marketing optimization engines to be able to get more customer acquisition and retention. A lot of effort is also happening on warehousing optimization, because this whole scale of growth which is happening is driving that change. But some of these focus areas are different. You will find different priorities in different stages of maturity. At the same time, on the same platform, let me give you a perspective as to where we see innovation happening from a retailer's perspective, and where they are focusing a little bit more. So the biggest hotspots of innovation within the retail ecosystem in India today are more in terms of customer retention, obviously store warehouse operations, and omnichannel commerce. And specifically, if you see that majority of the retailers are in stage 1 and stage 2, you will find that building a digital commerce platform is really literally the first priority, where a tremendous amount of effort and focus and investments and innovation is going through. And then as you grow into your digital maturity curve, you begin to focus a little bit more on retention. Right now, there's a whole lot of effort is going on acquiring new customers, streamlining your warehousing operations, and ensuring that you're able to meet the demand as fast as possible and as efficiently as possible across multiple channels. I think I'll just skip through this. These are some of the interesting use cases, and I already mentioned, mobile commerce and mobile engagement comes really on the top of the list. I think the message I want to leave to, if we have retailers and brands on the call today, as you look at becoming more digitally resilient, there is a journey that you have to go through. And I think sometimes if you are in stage 1 and stage 2, obviously the aspiration is stage 4. So how do you build your use case transformation roadmap? What do you do first? What do you do next? And in this journey, there will be opportunities, and there will be scenarios where you will jump a few stages and you will leapfrog, and which is what we're seeing from stage 1 to 3 and 2 to 4. Skipping a few stages in between, if you have that vision in mind, and if you build your technology infrastructure accordingly, and if you leverage the innovations which is happening in the environment around you. So what do we do? So where do we start? And you really have to leverage technology to do to make an impact across the ecosystem. You just cannot pick, say, I will do this use case and I'll become digitally resilient. If I have a digital platform, I will, it will be the end of it. You cannot do that. You have to start looking at it across your ecosystem and build your capabilities. So I work for Google Cloud, and we do this regularly with our customers. And literally the way we go to market and engage with our retailers and brands is that we look at it from the whole ecosystem, or the whole value chain, and see as to where can we add value at which touch point, using the cloud technologies and the platforms and the AI ML models and the use cases that we bring to market. So today is not the forum to discuss this, but I'll just give you an example as to how you can leverage some of these elements to drive innovation in the ecosystem. Similarly, if you are not looking at the retail value chain, look at the shopper journey, and look at the discovery, engagement, conversion, and see how you can then leverage technologies accordingly. Finally, just to summarize and to bring everything in perspective, as we grow on this journey, there are 3 or 4 areas. There are actually the 4 areas that you can potentially look at to streamline your thoughts and to see as to how you can leverage partners like Google Cloud and Incubate and Venture Catalyst and others. How do you become data driven? So what can you do to drive data transformation in your respective journeys? What kind of innovation can you use? What technologies will go into that? Digital platforms and omni-channel growth is the second element. I think the store modernization I spoke about. The third element, a lot of work is happening here, especially a lot of ISV ecosystem players are very, very active here. And last but not the least is sustainability and operational efficiencies. So the work which can happen here can truly drive the bottom line, the margins, the efficiencies, and make the retail and brands much more stronger to navigate the new normal and the environment that we are in today. So that's basically what I had to share today. And I think we've got a really fantastic lineup of startups today. Thank you to the team on the call for curating such a panel, and really looking forward to listening to all of them. Over to you, back to you, Dr. Sharma, and back to you.
Thanks a lot, Samir. Really appreciate that. I think that was a wonderful masterclass, very brief, talking about Google and how Google Cloud is supporting the retail innovation. Thanks a lot for that. We move on to the next segment now, where we have curated some very, very interesting startups who will be coming and presenting their ideas in front of the audience today. I would like to start with the first company today, which is a very interesting rural commerce brand called Frontier Markets. Frontier Markets provide end-to-end solutions to optimize market connect to rural consumers at the last mile. Their tailored solution is used by global and local brands, including Procter & Gamble, Marico, Philips, Jio, and many more. We have with us Ajeta Shah, founder of Frontier Markets, to talk about their journey. Ajeta, welcome. All the best. You can go ahead with the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for the introduction, and what a great way to start after a great presentation from Samir. So I'm just processing all of it. But yeah, so Frontier Markets, we are today India's largest rural social commerce platform that is really aiming to leverage data and connect rural customers to brands at scale to really bridge that pipeline gap. The way that we operate is we essentially look at wanting to help brands understand customer behavior to then drive innovation. So whether that's influencing transactions by owning a value chain, or gathering rich rural data by really tapping into social capital and influencing customers on purchasing decisions, but also then being that platform that helps all different brands get insights, showcase their products, as well as get access to customers in new markets that they don't necessarily have reach in. Our unique model invests in two things: women social influencers and a proprietary technology that really helps brands from all different kinds of categories. Today, we've worked with over 46 plus companies, helping them really connect with rural customers through our influencers and our technology platform. What we do in working in rural markets, and we want to be very clear in looking at where we segment ourselves in terms of the rural market. Today, 800 million customers are scattered around 700,000 villages. The reality is that most brands have a hard ability to reach on a supply chain perspective to this rural customer at the doorstep. Ultimately, they also, because of that lack of reach, don't necessarily know this customer. Who is this customer? What do they actually want? How do they think? What are their behaviors? And third, this customer, though digitally savvy, is not a marketplace customer. This customer is a bazaar customer who ultimately wants to be influenced, have conversations, and purchase from somewhere that they trust. And so ultimately, today, traditional e-commerce companies are not necessarily designed to reach, serve, or understand this rural customer in the way that is required to really tap this market opportunity. So Frontier Markets has cracked this problem by bringing those women onto a platform and actually serving in the villages where these customers live. We have a deep rural reach at the last mile where the village customer is. We invest in women and technology to really connect and have them become the influencers to drive insights. And ultimately, we're able to then bridge that supply chain gap as well. How we do it today is through a two-pronged approach. One, We are very data obsessed. So we do work with rural women that are locally situated in these villages and are able to actually connect with their proprietary households, collecting all kinds of data points on what customers want, don't want, need, and what their pain points are. That data that gets aggregated and allows us to then really look at right kind of insights to then curate a product opportunity. So on the one hand, we approach brands to tell them what the market opportunity is, but we're also then helping brands understand what are the right products to then showcase on the platform. And then ultimately, we support those brands with then doorstep delivery. Today, we have over 32 warehouses where we literally work with different brands, aggregate their products, and are able to then facilitate that doorstep delivery. If you're a consumer durable or an appliance company, we're able to do doorstep delivery, installations, and after-sales service to essentially ensure that the end customer has an end-to-end rich experience and still create stickiness in terms of how we operate. The thing that's interesting about the technology is that we've been operating in rural India for many, many years, but the most important thing for us was that how do you start bringing in tech with an understanding of the rural customer? So today we have AI bots that are essentially voice enabled to help any illiterate rural woman use the technology on their own. We have a very robust backend system that allows us to do multiple API integrations to really help then meet the end-to-end solutions that what we need in terms of the platform. And most importantly, we are then working with great companies like WhatsApp and others to use a D2C AI bot based on predictability of data that allows us to really do direct-to-consumer engagement. The Meri Saheli app in itself was designed for rural women. It is literally every single element of the application allows you to collect data, process sales, place orders, do demonstrations, and actually really take real-time information to the next level. That same parallel version of the DTC is where the direct-to-consumer customer uses an AI bot to also look at categories, but for us, most importantly, give us feedback on what they want or what they don't want. And so we're constantly gathering a lot of real-time data. And then, of course, the online delivery platform, knowing it's rural India, is a multifaceted opportunity to do cash on delivery, UI payments, and be able to really facilitate the experience of real-time tracking for what a rural customer needs, and how do we then ensure we can get the right information to process an end-to-end transaction. All of this is then stored into our CRM system, which allows us to then track everything from product stats, sales, inventory, quick processes for getting business in, but also most importantly, customer data. Today, we have over 1 million customers with end-to-end data points, helping us understand not just what people want, but what people have purchased, and actually building very strong, predictable patterns to start understanding how to do a better job in cross-selling, upselling, and reselling to rural customers. And link all this data then to the right communication. So we use physical and digital marketing campaigns that are very curated and customized to ensure that we really are localizing and understanding for the rural customer based on our insights of really understanding the psyche of who this rural customer is. So when we work with brands, we really do offer a multitude of different services, everything from direct-to-consumer physical and digital engagements, sales, supply chain management, but customer insights and analytics. We are a team with over 100 years of experience working in rural India. I myself come from a very strong microfinance background before I set up this company. Today, we're in 4,000 villages. We have over 15,000 entrepreneurs that are active, 95% active ratios on a monthly basis. And we have over 1 million customers that are live with a repeat business of over 85% on a monthly basis, using data and predictability to actually get products to market. So beyond the digital and the physical campaigns and getting the credible information, we really do also focus on really looking at where we can start helping brands have a brand identity. So where we're looking at deep customer data insights and product analytics, but also helping all different verticals really reach this rural customer. Our philosophy ultimately is that this customer is ours. It's on our platform. They trust us. So we want to be able to offer a multitude of products and services to them to create a customer lifetime value and a strong repeat business. And we also then have been working with brands to then do go-to-market pilots. A lot of brands come to us saying, you know, Ajaytha, what is your take on diapers? How do you think diapers can reach into the new market? For us, it's a very simple now model where we essentially design a strategy, collect data, understand what the market opportunity is, pilot an intervention, and based on that, being able to scale. Today, in the diaper section or sanitary napkin section, for example, we've been able to launch subscription models for women on a monthly basis, which is discrete, because the pain point was not availability of the product, it was the location of where that product was available and what she needed. And these are kind of small ways that we understand how to really drive better targeted, innovative design to then really help the right brands reach the right customers and then scale that.
Hi, Ajita, you have one last minute. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So the opportunity for us over here also is that we just partnered with the Rajasthan and the UP government to scale our operations working with these women networks. And we're planning, and what's exciting is the digital savviness of rural women entrepreneurs can be leveraged for social commerce and fintech. There is a customer base that ultimately wants products to reach at their doorstep. And this is a unique opportunity for us to really work with brands to start thinking through how we can partner together to reach and optimize on this government opportunity to take this scale to the next level. So in the next 18 months, we'll be going from 15,000 Sahelis to 100,000 Sahelis in 3 new states. And we think this is a unique opportunity to really leverage the platform, collect customer data insights, but then also work with the right brands to reach the right solutions to rural customers at scale. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ajita. Really appreciate that. We move on to the next startup. For all the guests, we would be sharing more details about all the companies who are presenting today, and we would also be scheduling a deep dive call very, very soon with them. We move on to the next company. It's a very interesting MarTech company. It's called WebEngage. I'm sure you must have heard about WebEngage. A robust customer data platform, personalization engine, omni-channel campaign manager, and an analytics engine, all backed into one seamless full-stack retention OS. This retention OS with clientele including companies such as Unilever, Bajaj Finserv, Zivame, Unacademy, and many more. Today, we have with us from the WebEngage team. We have the next WebEngage team coming up. Sorry, that's my bad. Please accept my apologies. The next company would be HESA. It's a rural tech company. HESA is the one-stop solution for corporates, SMEs, banks, government, and NGOs who wish to access rural India. Their unique proposition is designed for buy-sell, including brand promotion and social responsibilities. HESA is a trusted B2B digital platform that allows businesses that means to access and integrate into the rural market. We have with us today Vamsi from HESA, who will be doing the presentation. Vamsi, welcome. All the best. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ravi. Give me a second. Is my screen visible?
Yes, perfect. HESA, you can, perfect, Vamsi. You can make it full screen and start. Thank you.
Sure. So thanks, Ravi, for the especially WeCat's 9 Unicorns team for giving this opportunity. Myself, Vamsi Udayagiri, I'm the founder and CEO of HESA. We at HESA are working towards creating the rural marketplace platform. Typically, you look at any consumer, any persona sitting in a village today, the kind of challenges they have, be it a buying need or a selling need, where they have to literally step out of their own village for as simple as somebody wants to deposit money, somebody wants to buy products, somebody wants to sell their agri-produce. Do you know that at an average 8 to 9 times a rural person travels out of their own place for any of their needs? And India having 6.5 lakh villages where 85 crore plus people live. And especially when we are talking about villages where less than 10,000, less than 5,000 population stay. Interestingly, 4.2 lakh villages have less than 10,000 population, and 2.7 lakh villages out of them have less than 5,000 population. And it is very tough for people like Varalakshmi to get as basic a service. And if you closely look at why these consumers or these people are left out, inaccessible, because it's very tough for a business to go and operate in these kind of villages. If you look at it, the major challenge is the unviable unit economics, because let's say a corporate wants to get into a village of 2,000 population. The cost of operation versus the revenues that can be generated will not match. Added to that, you have a lot of supply chain, financial constraints, identifying the right customer, their buying patterns, spending patterns is very tough. Time to market is very high. So that's where businesses are really struggling to reach to that last mile consumers, and because of which they are largely left out. Urban has evolved in the last 20 years, because 20 years back everybody would have done everything physical, but urban has evolved from physical to digital and now social. Rural has largely left out like being physical and social because there is no one digital platform which could really, tap the potential. And that's where, we at HESA, after 10 years of me working in rural and coming from a supply chain background, thought that it's time rural India needs a sector agnostic marketplace. So with that, anything and everything a consumer need in a village, be it a buying need or a selling need, has been aggregated into a one single platform and offered to an influencer or an entrepreneur in a village, whom we call as Hesati, who is not only physically present in a village, but he or she can influence the fellow consumers. So the entire concept is like very simple, because let's look at a family living in a village. The family has some 20 different needs, be it a banking, financial, insurance, products, buying, selling, agri, whatever it is. For them today, the kind of challenges where they have to go to 10 different places. Rather, there is one person who is connected with a one tech platform, who is literally offering anything that my family needs in. So that's the thesis in which we have built this entire platform. So we become a unified platform for all the rural needs, as I said, sector agnostic marketplace, because on one end you have consumer who wants to avail the basic needs, and on the other end there are businesses like the corporates who want to reach out to those target consumers, be it for sampling, be it for service, be it for brand visibility. So we've really, come up with some innovative models where brands can, really, go that last mile there. It's not only the unviable economics for the brands, but today the consumer is also having unviable, because at an average 8-9 times he's moving out of the village, wherein there is a lot of cost, effort, time involved. Rather, this Hesati is acting like a genie, where he's literally connecting everything that, the consumer needs. While there is no one persona who can actually, do this entire thing, because it all depends on the skill set, influencing capacity. Because if I'm an agri value chain, farmer background, I can actually, influence the agri value chain. If I am an women group member, I can influence microfinance, FMCGs, or women-centric products. Then you have kirana stores, truck drivers. But the very active segment for us, other than the women groups and the farming chain, is the first-time micro entrepreneurs, who are the youth, who are very entrepreneurial. They're proactive, they know how to use smartphones, they can move around in the villages, can help consumers to do many transactions over there. In a larger picture, we become an integrated B2B marketplace, because the beauty in rural is the same person mostly is a buyer and seller also. Let's say I'm a farmer, I have to sell my agri produce. At the same time, I have a family where I have my FMCG needs, I have my banking needs or insurance needs, like that. So that's how we created this entire marketplace, where this Hesati, who is in the village, is literally kind of acting as a bridge, because the same brand today want to distribute their products. They want to understand, how their product is performing. They want to understand what is their, consumer research, or there are many things where we have created this entire, one enabled tech platform. Brand has a dashboard where brand can see, how their brand is performing and all. We have come up with some beautiful solutions where today we are working with very large corporates, where the brands say that I want to go and do a sampling in a village which has less than 3,000 population. I want to reach out to women groups who are like between 15 to 25 age group, or any such matter. Our system automatically disseminates this information to the relevant Hesatis, and Hesatis can actually do that work. And also we have come up with a solution where the house of our Hesati literally becomes the branding billboard, where our app has a ability to capture the timestamp and geotag location. So we have created some interventions, because before we started this tech platform, we've been working with a lot of brands in terms of creating their large mile visibility. So that's how we have, understood how the brand's requirements are, and accordingly, build this entire solution. So while there are many models, again, I think we have taken a B2B2C approach, because it's all about we enabling an FMCG, we enabling a dairy organization or an agri input company or a finance organization, so that we reach to a larger consumer set, and then upselling and cross-selling happens. And as I said, we are the only platform where there is a services layer on top of a transactions layer, where today we are not only enabling the consumers to transact, we're also helping brands to reach out to those target consumers. So the fact that top 1 to 3 in any segment we are already tied up, be it Walmart metros to agri-techs to Reliance, Wipro, Procter & Gamble also we've signed. We are working with Mahindra. So we are working on many interventions where we are really helping these organizations not only distribute their products, but also getting a lot of insights and creating a lot of promotional platforms for them. Few examples of what all we do today. Let's say a brand wants to reach out to a village. We have a complete, tech platform which enables them to, do a sampling, survey, branding, promotional events, all connected through a tech platform where brand can control how, the entire thing can, happen. Today, we help farmers to either buy their agri inputs or sell their agri produce. So that's how we are, really connecting a lot of these agri input companies to penetrate into rural, or we are helping farmers to sell their, produce to a lot of either the agri buyers, large corporates, or the agri startups that are coming. We'll also enable a lot of these financial services. Again, the thesis is working from the mindset of a consumer, because today the consumer has 10 different needs rather than the consumer going to 10 different places. Why can't we have a trusted person in the same village who can literally act like a genie and, solve the multiple things? So few cases on how we have enabled a microfinance organization, where today the kind of challenges people have to pay their interest amount, they have to literally step out of the village. There is a lot of manual process. So we have automated, integrated that entire process. Today we are helping a lot of farmers to sell their produce and also get their disbursements in time. So we are working with a lot of dairy organizations like that. So many interventions we are doing it. And yeah, I think we are in the market for the last 20 months. And today we are present in 3 southern states of Andhra, Telangana, and Karnataka. We have been growing 24% every month. We have reached out to more than 3 million customers. And with our multi-tier commerce model, today our numbers has been really scaling. Like every 2 to 3 weeks of a month, we are crossing the last month's detail. So it's all because of the multiplier effect. It's all because of multiple services that we are offering to the consumer, and at the same time, the way we are solving the problem of a business to scale in. So our founding team comes with a rural agri experience. So last 10 years we have been working in rural, where largely from urban to rural is what I was handling, and Hema, my co-founder, was handling largely rural to urban, where today we work with almost 500 plus artisans or karigars, where we help them to sell their produce, sell their material or products, and also helping a lot of farmers. Today we almost work with 30,000 farmers, where we are helping them to sell their produce, be it commodities, being their fresh produce or any agri output that they are producing it. And we have been extensively covered in the media with the kind of model that we have got in. In fact, the other day somebody was saying that you can become an offline Google for rural India, and your story said that we can become an Amazon for rural India, with a difference, because Amazon only pushes products to the rural. We do both buy and sell for rural. So that's the kind of a model where we created, where there is a lot of impact in terms of the lives, because today we are not only helping the businesses, but we are helping the consumers to actually avail transactions in a much more easier way. And in this process, we are creating livelihoods at scale. Thank you.
Vamsi, thank you so much. That was a wonderful presentation. I think looking at how commerce can be redefined for the real Bharat, I think we saw Frontier Markets and then Hesa. Very, very glad to see this presentation, Vamsi. Thank you so much. We move on to the next startup for the day. The next startup for the day is called Unimart. It's a very interesting SaaS technology platform. Unimart is a SaaS technology company that comprehensively addresses the diverse requirements and challenges of supply chain companies and brands for omni-channel automation and management with AI across 100 countries. We would have with us today Angad Ahluwalia from Unimart presenting the company. Angad, over to you.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon. Samir, thank you so much. I think it was a great open. You added a lot of credence to what I'm about to speak about. Thanks for that. So my name is Angad Ahluwalia. I am the general manager for Unimart. And so can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, great. At Unimart, essentially, we are powering global commerce. The idea is to essentially strengthen omni-channel adoption across companies and retail. Now, not long ago, right, commerce was centered around your neighborhood or your locality. Shopping, trade was met with, you would satisfy your needs with your local stores. Now, about a week ago, I ordered a pair of these Nike customizable shoes, right? You could pick your sole, your upper, your inner, and that got delivered to me a few days ago. That was delivered directly from the factory, from the source of manufacture in China. Now, what Nike has done is they've built a digital highway or a layer of technology over the existing retail operation that is allowing the retailer to connect its manufacturer directly to you, the consumer. And that's the kind of technology that is Unimart. The way consumers are demanding has changed. We're expecting things now and we want it how we want it. So retailers are essentially now adopting technology to be able to meet this requirement. They're adopting technology to be able to meet the demands of the customer, and they're doing this through various various technologies. Sorry. Now, we have achieved great convenience through Amazon and Flipkart. While they occupy about 82% of India's $40 billion market, 85% of the global e-commerce market is captured by the long tail marketplaces such as Lazada or Linio or Mercado Libre and dozens others. And by not participating in this, retailers are leaving about a huge chunk of their potential revenue on the table. Now, global e-commerce or omni-channel is not easy. There are too many moving parts in this ecosystem. And in order to truly leverage, you need to get your marketplaces in place, your sales channels in place, your financing in place, your revenue, your distribution, your warehousing, your last mile delivery, your business intelligence, all of it, right? And very often companies and brands just give up. Now, there are a number of players who are operating in each of these buckets. They help with ERP, they help with last mile delivery, with warehousing, marketplaces, but there's no one unified solution. So what happens is brands and companies and retailers are required to hire a full tech team and pay huge subscriptions in getting all these functionalities implemented. Now, how often have you heard this story, right? I've listed on Amazon, I've got great content, I've got my A+ going, I've got my brand store, I'm doing FBA, I'm doing global selling, I'm spending 2x my revenue on performance marketing, but I'm not selling all that much, I'm not exploding. And it's because of this, is because of what you see on your screen. Navigating through this ecosystem is extremely complex, and most people just give up at cataloging. They don't pursue the rest of it because it's just too expensive and way too complex. So enter Unimart. Now, Unimart is essentially your e-commerce ecosystem enabler. It connects everything you need from sourcing to discovery to selling to delivery, everything on one single platform. Essentially, to begin with, through Unimart, you can plug into over 24 different sales channels and web stores. This allows you to plug into 100 countries in less than a week and have your products available over there. To increase efficiencies, Unimart consolidates all your orders, all your inventory, all your catalogs, all in a single place, so you're not doing repeatable tasks. This has shown for our customers, we reduce costs by about 35%. As you scale, supply chain costs become more and more significant. Through Unimart, you can plug into a global network of warehouses where you pay as you go, putting your products closer to the customer and delivering in 2 days. You're able to plug into our dozens of last mile delivery partners, so which you can achieve cost savings about 50% of your shipping costs. To increase your revenue, discovery is extremely important and imagery is very important. Through Unimart, you're able to optimize your images and have them suitable for all your sales channels. You're able to be found, it generates keywords for you, descriptions, so discovery becomes easier. It helps you identify niches and demand for your various products that you are targeting. It also allows you to keep an eye on what your competition is doing in terms of pricing or inventory or what are their keywords. Unimart also allows you to plug into your marketing automation for performance marketing. And we have seen that most of our sellers, our partners, have grown about 200% in the last 6 months. So Unimart essentially puts everything together and allows you to forego the need of a tech team. You can operate everything with a very small team, access global markets, be omni-channel, adopt digitization, and basically the world is your playground. Now, these are just some of the case studies. I'll quickly skim through these. I mean, the lines on the blue on the graph are before Unimart, and the line on the red on the right is essentially after Unimart. So most of our sellers have essentially exploded because they're not focusing on a single market or single channel of sales anymore. They've all adopted omni-channel global commerce through our platform. And by doing so, they're able to unlock huge potentials and huge markets. Now, traditionally for retail, there's an existing infrastructure. There is distributor models, there is retail chains. Unimart provides you with that technology that sits on top of all these layers, allowing you to digitize your business and catalyze the adoption of e-commerce. So far, we've helped about 240 countries in India. We've achieved a GMV about 15 million. Most have achieved a 25% annualized year-on growth. Outside of India, we power the largest fulfillment platform in the Middle East. The platform takes care of Mango and I believe Zara as well more recently. Our team is quite stellar. Shaikh is our co-founder and CEO. He has helped about 1,000 companies achieve scale cross-border when he was the MD of Rocket Internet. For myself, I've managed Heineken, Corona, Oettinger, and a couple of other consumer brands in Singapore. I've also worked with the Investment Corporation of Dubai in the Middle East. More recently, I had my own startup where I helped about 200 companies and about 200 companies and 20,000 products sell online. Our other co-founders, all masters in their own fields in payments and e-commerce. Many of them have started up and have had successful exits. We are also advised by the brightest of minds.
I just wanted to remind you, you have 1 last minute left. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's great. We are also advised by the brightest of people from Google, Facebook, Amazon, Mattel, Disney. In the past, we won a number of awards. We participated in Techstars last year. And yep, that's basically us in 10 minutes.
Wonderful, Angad. Brilliant presentation. We move on to the next startup for the day. The next startup for the day is it's an e-commerce returns startup called Sara.io. Sara is an intelligent returns reduction and automation solution which enables direct-to-consumer brands, e-commerce sellers, and e-tailers in reducing and automating returns, focusing on improving the bottom line of businesses. We have with us Sachin Garg, founder Sara.io, for the presentation. Sachin, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Ravi. Just a moment.
Yes, please.
Can you all see my?
It's just coming up. It's still not on the screen. Sachin, do you want to stop and reshare?
Sorry, seems like my screen is stuck for some reason. If you are still able to hear me.
We can hear you, but your screen is not working. Can you stop and reshare, Sachin, please?
Yeah, I'm not able to click anything for some reason.
1 second. Hold on a second.
Yeah, now I can. Yeah.
I've stopped your screen share, Sachin. You can restart. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No issues. Perfect. We can go ahead.
Great. Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Sachin and I'm founder and CEO of Sara. Sara is an intelligent return reduction and automation company, primarily focusing on D2C brand and e-commerce businesses. So let's look at today's world, right? The consumers want Amazon-like convenience, right? Like that's what everybody said, and businesses want to be able to become profitable, be able to acquire customers easily. But what that has led to is that an interesting new problem, which is returns. In e-commerce, in some cases, returns are as high as 55%. And the returns are a nightmare for most of the businesses because to be able to support the end consumer, to do the reverse logistics, to do the warehousing, to do the quality check, everything takes a big toll on businesses. And the worst part is that over 50% of the products which are returned are never sold again. And rest are sold on very, very heavy discount, leading to significant environmental and business impact. This is why we built a product called EcoReturns. EcoReturns is an AI-based solution which plugs into any existing Shopify, WooCommerce, or any other platform, e-commerce platform as a store, where it basically, works on 3 different levels. At one level, it tries to reduce the return rate itself using data science. On the other level, it also automates. When I say automates, there are 2 kinds of automations. One is that how do you process a return, in digitally. Also, how do you process the return once it comes back to the warehouse? Because every product has to kind of go through a quality inspection, which is a very long, tedious task. Just for the fun of it, for one of the companies in US, very large company in US, we reduced their, the QC processing time for each product by 5x. Basically, they were taking like 6 minutes earlier, and they started taking less than a minute after using our technology. And the third piece, which is again very important piece, is which we are working on right now, is a re-commerce, where we can help businesses to be able to resell the products which have come back from the end consumer. So when we go to a customer, we promise only very simple 3 things at this moment, is that we will get you on an average of 30% of return rate reduction. And then your processing cost of returns will go down by 80%. And while you're doing all this process, we will make sure that you are able to give Amazon-like experience to your customers. Now, how are we able to do that? Let's talk about some unique, internal features, which are part of our product. We have, a world's first return risk assessment engine. You might have heard about their risk assessment companies from a financial fraud perspective, right? Somebody's buying something online. Is that a fraud transaction? There are companies for that. What we do is that we process every online order and check whether this is risky from a return perspective. And if it is risky, what could be done to mitigate that? So we have this, a data science-based, feature, which is pretty useful. It helps businesses reduce the return. Then we have AI and computer vision-based quality and automation tools, which are useful when you are processing the returns in your warehouse. We have, the analytics, which is basically to get you deeper insights about why the returns are happening, from where they are happening, and what really can be done to avoid them. Then we have re-commerce engine, which is again, it's a very unique re-commerce engine. In most of the cases, if you look at in today's world, when an end consumer returns the product, what happens? In India, somebody will come and pick up the product and take it back from you and take it to the warehouse. We actually have built an engine where the product may not need to be taken back to the fulfillment center. It actually could be re-commerced at a much lower price and much higher value, leading to a greater customer experience and significant cost reduction for the business. Then we have our own, something called an incentive engine. So what our AI and behavioral science does is that when a customer actually is trying to return a product, it tries to sense that the person is kind of sitting on a boundary line, whether to return or not, or he's very determined to return the product. In case he's on the boundary line, in that case, our system actually pitches in and tries to encourage him to keep the product by offering him certain kind of incentive. So when you offer that incentive, that incentive is offered in the form of store credits, and those store credits can be utilized to buy again. So you're not only retaining a customer, saving your order, you're also converting him to a repeat customer while saving your return. And then we have exchange capabilities, again, like some bigger platforms like Amazon's and Flipkart's, but these are a lot more intelligent, advice-based, data-based, where the customer is easily able to exchange to the kind of product he's looking for. So what are our competitive advantages? There are a couple of companies, especially in US and not many in India really, from a returns perspective, but they are primarily returns management company, and we are returns reduction and automation company. And our competitive advantages lie in that because we use AI for reducing returns. So our whole strategy is to be able to help you reduce, and we don't really like any other player to make money on your returns. We want to actually save you money. Second is that we have figured out again a very unique way of a logistics-free e-commerce, the one-click e-commerce talking about, where we can actually avoid taking the returns back to the warehouse, and this could be re-commerced instead of having to come back to the to warehouse and bearing the cost of the logistics. And then we are eco-returns, so we are a climate change focused company. Our objective is to be able to make all the returns carbon neutral. We already have some success in that direction, and we'll continue to work towards that. And see, again, one more interesting thing is that most of the end consumers today are climate focused. They love those brands which are more natural, more sustainable, and our brand basically enables and helps that brand, our customers establish that kind of a perception in the mind of their customers as well. So we are very deep.
Just to remind you, you have 1 last minute. Thank you.
Okay, we're very deeply integrated with a lot of platforms, these logistics, be it software, and that's our case study. So we typically are able to reduce 30% return rate for most of the customers, and that comes from very many pieces of our solution. But it comes as a package. So once you include it, it starts working and starts helping you reduce your returns altogether. We have been used by already over 100 online stores across 3 continents. Some of them are very big and some of them are small. We have 5-star ratings everywhere. Every customer is extremely happy with us. We are backed by 0 to 1 capital, 9 unicorns. We are also part of SAP, Pay.io, startup initiative and Let's Venture. We also went to Techstars and Plug and Play Ventures Silicon Valley. With this, I conclude my presentation. So I did my engineering from an IIT and Intel. I have built 2 companies before. This is my 3rd venture, and Lalit is my partner in crime. And we are doing right now B2C, but some of your businesses here present here might be interested in B2B return reduction. We'll be happy to discuss that in case you see there's an opportunity there for us to work with you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks a lot, Sachin. I appreciate your presentation. We move on to the next company. I would like to bring again WebEngage, a MarTech startup. A robust customer data platform, personalization engine, omni-channel campaign manager, and an analytics engine, all backed into one seamless full-stack retention OS with clientele including companies such as Unilever, Bajaj Finserv, Zivame, Unacademy, and many more. I would like to invite Rahul Monga from WebEngage for the presentation, please. Rahul, over to you.
Thank you, Ravi. Hi, welcome everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I hope you guys can see the screen.
Yep.
All right. So I think what we've seen so far, right, as a CPG company, right, as you sort of grow, as you scale, each of these parts of value chain sort of needs to be, let's say, sort of improved, and efficiency needs to be, let's say, maximized using different softwares, some setup here and there, right, just to, let's say, help your team deliver more impact, deliver more results. Something across a similar theme as, let's say, following this larger trend. What WebEngage has built is more of a retention stack. Now, one of the fundamental things that any business wants to do today, as I think the last sort of panelist also was talking about, is retain their customers. Acquisition costs are going up. How do you, let's say, retain them better? Now, towards this larger vision, what we built is a marketing automation stack, which is, let's say, built for CPG companies, be it a legacy brand like L'Oreal's, or let's say, be it a new age brand like Sugar Cosmetics, wherein they can just plug in a system and go about their business, automate campaigns, and I'll obviously talk about it a bit more. The genesis of the brand obviously was the fact that, we were facing a lot of, let's say, difficulties, even we as users, right? That there was no shortage of tools. You had to integrate multiple tools together. Data was sitting in so many silos that it was impossible to sort of bring them under one roof. And then obviously the marketing, traditional way of marketing was just to send the same message across to everybody out there. So it was like, let's see, what sticks on the wall. We wanted to solve for it. We wanted to make the marketing engagement a lot more intelligent. We wanted to make it, let's say, a lot more personalized. And this is what you see on the screen. This is what the larger WebEngage system looks like, right? Now, any marketer out today.
Rahul, can you click play, please? Thank you.
Sure. Oh, sorry. So any marketer out today, right? Let's say if he wants to build out retention stack, they'll have 3 problems or 3, let's say, key solutions that he or she will look for, right? The first and foremost is a customer data platform, wherein how do we, let's say, understand who the user is, where is he coming from? What is he looking at? Every brand wants to sort of understand that at a user level. Some of the traditional tools like GA will help you understand that at a broader level from a trend perspective, but they fail when it comes to really sort of creating unique user profiles. Then on top of it, you want insights and segmentation capabilities. wherein you want to, let's say, slice and dice user behavior, understand where the drop-offs are happening in the funnel, and then accordingly, let's say, identify those points of intervention where you actually need to reach out to those customers at the right point in time on the right channel with the right set of personalization built into these messages, right? So that's the whole cornerstone of the platform, right? Now, let's say that we have the data part sorted, we have the funnels and segmentation built out. The next thing that you want to do is engage with them, right? Now, obviously, you want to do that ideally via the same tool. Hence, what you've built is basically a campaign management solution, wherein there are three aspects to it. First, it's an omni-channel solution. So not just email, SMS, and WhatsApp. We go way beyond this. We have channels such as push notification, Facebook, Google, in-app notifications, on-site service, and whatnot, up to 10, 11 channels, including IVR. That just helps you automate all your communication across all your customers, irrespective of where they are, number one. Number two, there's a very hyper level of personalization built into the platform. To that end, that, for example, if let's say somebody is looking at a product A, right, and he adds the product to the cart, abandons it, right, the communication will not just mention the product A in the email or the SMS, but it'll actually go a step beyond and might just recommend some of the other products that the larger user base might be interested in, right? So that level of personalization is built into the platform. And all of this happens through our own sort of intelligence layer. All the marketers have to do is feed into basic rules and basic filters, and sort of it gets going. Now, to sort of now take this even further, we have recently launched a personalization stack. What this does is we all, I'm sure, have one way or the other, have shopped from, let's say, Amazon in one point or the other, right? When we go to the homepage, it's completely personalized, right? The suggestions are largely to on point based on our recent purchases, or let's say cross-sell opportunities, or let's say recent browsing patterns. So what we've built is exactly that we want CPG companies basically to be able to, let's say, personalize their homepage, their overall website experience, as well as mobile app experience, if you have one, so that you can deliver that experience, because the expectation has been clearly laid out by these marketplaces, right? That this is the level of digital maturity that you need to bring in if you want to, let's say, scale up beyond a certain point. So we want to make it simple for you. We have built the tools for that, and this is going to be a very, very key focus for us over the next 2 years. We have been powering sort of amazing user experiences, for some of the largest, let's say, traditional legacy brands like L'Oreal and Kiehl's, who have been have taken a shine to the DTC aspect and have sort of got going. But we also at the same time are partnering with some of the emerging brands, or let's say some of the, the stars of the new D2C space, such as Boston Sign, Sugar Cosmetics, the Good Glam Group, Epigame, and whatnot, right? I just want to quickly talk about a couple of use cases and showcase them. Now, we do understand that every CPG company, will come in from a different perspective, from a digital maturity angle on their company. So you might be, let's say, we sort of have this terminology in WebEngage, right? You might be a egg, a caterpillar, or like a muggle, right? If let's say you are in the first stage wherein, there's a high CAC, one of the problems for you, the overall lifetime value is low, you're still trying to figure out the right cross-sell, upsell opportunities. The whole idea of talking about this is that WebEngage is built in that regard, with that perspective that, you should be able to, let's say, no matter which stage you're in, you should be able to, let's say, leverage the platform, the offering, the solution that helps you realize the value today. You don't have to, let's say, reach a certain scale and then only, let's say, look about opting for platforms like this, right? I just want to quickly talk about, let's say, for a wrap up, about a couple of case studies that we have. Now, one such partner for us is Clovia. Right after, pandemic sort of started and let's say the first lockdown ended, right? Somewhere in that overlapping timeline. One of the problems that Clovia was facing was that, a lot of the campaigns that they were running for cart abandonment was not yielding a lot of conversions. Typically we see that every fifth of a cart abandoned can be recovered fairly easily, right? But the conversion rate were lower than that. We looked at the funnel data and we identified that, there are two types of customers, high intent customers and low intent customers, right? And let's say the communication is going in the same way to each of them. There's no personalization happening. Segmentation is not up to that mark. Email, through funnel analysis, we sort of incorporated this into our campaigns so that now instead of sending out the email campaigns to all set of customers, let's say hypothetically after 45 minutes, we reduce the timeline to 20 minutes for the high intent customers, because as for the funnel, that's when, the top of the mind recall still exists. Beyond that, it tapers off. And for the low intent customers who anywhere, let's say, is just browsing off, just checking it out, we, let's say, scaled our email campaigns back and started sending email campaigns after a day or two. Now, the result was that immediately from next month onwards, their overall revenue from these campaigns got up by 85%.
Sorry for the interruption, Rahul. You have one last minute. Thank you.
Sure. And quickly, so that was the story about Clovia, right? And just one of the issues I wanted to talk about quickly was the first cry piece. That first cry is a very interesting product angle, right? That you can buy diapers. Now, diaper is a recurring purchase for every parent out there, right? So depending upon who the user is, what kind of pack they opted for, Webbing Age can help you, let's say, automate these campaigns, wherein if your product is about to be, needs to be replenished in, let's say, 25th of every month, 15th onwards, 20th of that month onwards, emails, campaigns, and messages and other things can start coming up to you, right? So these are some of the areas wherein, be it, let's say, you're driving recurring purchases or let's say accelerating your first orders. Overall, the retention goals, if you divide up your overall user base into different funnels, can be taken care of, can be automated. So that was largely from my end. If you guys have any questions, follow up, let's say, queries on the product, happy to get in touch across. Just reach out to me on LinkedIn or, on the company website. Happy to take this out. Thank you.
Wonderful, Rahul, for that great presentation. I move on to the next startup for the day. We have with us the next startup, Easy Rewards. Easy Rewards is a CRM and loyalty company. Easy Rewards offers industry-agnostic cloud-based CRM, loyalty, and conversational commerce solutions, which enables seamless omni-channel customer experience. Easy Rewards is started by Sapan and Tejas. Today, Tejas will be presenting Easy Rewards. Tejas, over to you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm just going to go on a slideshow. Hi, thanks everyone. I'm going to take you over for the next 7 minutes on what is Easy Rewards and how it can work for any of these CPG companies and the experience which we've done with the multiple brands across the ecosystem. So Easy Rewards was founded 10 years ago with a clear motto that can we help brands truly create their single view of their customer and push the right offer to the right customer on the right channel. That's the core motto in which we function. And we realized that there was a huge gap where B2C CRM did not exist, right? So any brand which is interacting directly with the customer, there was no full stack solution to identify who the customer is, what the customer does across platforms, what channel you can communicate to, and is there a mechanics to bring them back? So that never existed. So we took a stab and said that can we help brands really create this happen? Primary or pretty much all the offline ecosystem players. And that's the core intent of how the solution has come up. Today we serve four kind of ecosystems, B2C brands, where any brand who's shopping in any retail, healthcare, hospitality, across industries is connecting to their customer is mapped into the platform. Then we do BFSI, where we run these platforms for banks and across industries. And then the third is all B2B programs. So anyone who's a manufacturer, anyone who is having a network of dealers, distributors, and influencer. So you've got mechanics where we have a CRM for enabling that for them. So the CRM stack enables that full journey for the customer. At the same time, in the pandemic, we realized that with the CRM platform, we are able to build a true single view of the customer, understanding their patterns of behavior of the customer. The unfortunate scenario was the brand is sitting with products. They know their best customer set, but they do not have a mechanics to be able to interact and be able to to get the customers to come to the store to buy. So we built out this entire stack for them where they can interact with the customer across channels, be it on WhatsApp, Viber, globally, online, Facebook, Instagram, real-time interact. And once the interaction takes place, the customer can make a payment and then delivery can happen store to home. That whole concept of Now Commerce was built for a lot of the large retail ecosystems built in. It comes with a whole contactless platform built in. And from any of these ends, we realize that what gets missed out in a lot of the platforms is the voice of the customer. So we built out tools which can enable any of the retailer to understand the voice of a customer in terms of what the feedback they give, what complaints that come in, and all of that is mapped into a single tool. We've been invested by Walmart globally. Today, we run about 180 brands. We're live with about 18,000 stores. We are operating out of India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Southeast Asia, and Middle East, and we've just forayed into Africa. We operate with about 220 million customers, and we are processing about 500 million transactions as we speak. So just to give you the sense, we work across ecosystems, which I was talking at an enterprise level. We run Bata globally. We run with a group in Indonesia called MAP. Then we in the other states, we manage JSW in terms of their dealer network, etc. We are managing Eureka Forbes in the pure space of CPG. Then we run fashion brands like a Levi's or a Pepe. Then your athleisure brands as a Skechers, Adidas. Entertainment, we run PVR. So we've in retail banking, we run Kotak, Bajaj Finserv, RBL, CICI. And then we forayed into healthcare CRM, where we're doing SRL diagnostics and the road. So the intent is, can we give a single platform which is enabling to map the journey of the customer? And that's what Easy Rewards is all about. Some of them we do global mechanics, where we are extending the same service which we do in India for their global ecosystems across wherever they are. So from a solution stack, we've got 3 core stacks: the CRM cloud, where we've got a mechanics where you can identify who the customer is from the leads. We've got an engagement platform where you can run a loyalty program, because if a brand needs data, the brand has to give out something. So that's where the LPAS, which is the loyalty program toolkit, comes in. It comes with its own marketing automation tool. And then from a voice of customer, here you can do surveys, product reviews, feedbacks, and all of that can come onto a feedback engine called Collector. And then we have the data flows into a ticketing engine where you can manage complaints, right? All of that flows into a core CDP, where you can truly create the single view of the customer and then map them into different journeys or cohorts to be able to push the customer campaigns and various other things you'd want to do with them. On the commerce cloud of it, we've created solutions which I was saying that you have mechanics where you can interact with the customer live on any of the social platforms, do payments, you have mechanics on getting e-receipts, and all of that is built onto a single tool itself. And what we realized is that, at one end, we've got a lot of these brands. The other end, we've got customers, which could be B2B brands, etc. So we said that, can we enable an ecosystem where we are able to help acquire customers from the ecosystem perspective? So we have we've created a deal cloud where any of these brands can give out deals, and it can be published on large ecosystems to enable them to acquire customers. There are reward stores created where you can enable a customer to be rewarded outside your ecosystem. So how do you create a mechanics where you are able to believe that you are able to engage with the customer outside your ecosystem itself? So that's something which we meet from the platform. From a product experience perspective, we help you automate the platform. We give you the intelligence on who, what, when. We help you operate it. In India, though we've built the platform on DIY, we give out the service called DIFM. It's called Do It For Me. And pretty much for all these brands, we work with them, partner with them to be able to scale their base of customers to come back. And the intent is then, can we create now commerce for the customer to do community?
Tejas, you have one last minute.
Yeah. Just last 1 minute. Okay. So just to go we map the journey of the customer acquisition. We have a mechanics where you can activate the customer, then grow the customer, incentivizing them, engage with them across various touch points, and then all of that data flows into a tool where we can then run campaigns basis of different various segments, and then create a mechanics on creating what the next best action is, what the win backs for a customer is. Just from the team, we have a 300 people team. 4 of us co-founded the company, me, Sapan, Soumya, Angad. And we have a strong team which has run multiple CRM programs across various industries. We've been invested by Walmart, Netcore, and BCAT was one of our initial angels. And we've got people from be it Saurabh Agarwal from Tata, or Ashneer and Jitender from the fintech space, and Subrat Pani, who is the creator of the Kota credit cards itself. And we have a strong advisory board. We've got people sitting from Flipkart. We've got Sanjeev Mohanty from Levi's. We've got Rajesh Jain from Netcore. So we're a set of people who understand and create CX for customers per se. Just the last 30 seconds, we patented the product on ShopStore. It's won a lot of awards last year to be able to help a lot of the physical retail to become digital. And we've helped brand wins a lot of awards for their experiences for the customer end. That's all. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Tejas. Appreciate it. That was a great presentation. We move on to the next company. The next company is into the AI imagery segment. We have Orvo Ai with us. Orvo is a disruptive visual intelligence company that harnesses computer vision and deep learning as the core technologies. They provide unique solutions for artificial intelligence applications and transformational visual perception. We have with us Manoj Shinde, founder Orvo Ai. Manoj, over to you. Request you to please take it ahead. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Ravi. Pleasure to be here. Today, we're going to talk about one of the sub-brands that Orvo actually promotes in the CPG industry. And predominantly what we talk about as a sub-brand is Supertouch. The mission of today's presentation is to sort of give a glance about, we are all talking about the building blocks such as logistic payments and rural commerce. But one of the key elements, it stays with CPG or retail industry, is that how do I get customers, right? And while the traditional e-commerce platforms pretty much look the same, one of the key questions that started coming now that most of the D2C companies started coming up online in the advent of saving some commissions from marketplaces, they're looking for answers that how do I create the same experience that happens in the retail store? How do I bring it to online? And we've obviously been talking about metaverses and augmented reality and so on and so forth. Now, in the confluence of technology, I think one of the key things that remains, constant is, while, for last 20 years or 30 years or so, beauty and personal care segment has predominantly used to send the surveys or, emails and collect the data from, a sample size of say 1,000, 2,000 people. But that wasn't good enough for us to really draw insight or create, bond between the customer. We felt that need instantly. We felt that it was needed for us to sort of change that paradigm, bring the experience to the front end, so that the brands and customers will connect to one another. And in the hindsight, not only that brand gets the data and the conversions, but also the customer gets the touch point, gets to try on certain things before they actually buy it. And as we all know it in CPG and retail industry, the trial cost or the sample cost, ranges from 4 to 6%. And that is substantial amount of money that has been spent, especially in the offline industry or so. So we wanted to change that. And as a result of that, today, we're actually going to talk about a product, Supertouch, which brings a complete beauty AI stack, which is powered by computer vision and deep learning. And that is only possible because of our strong IP portfolio. One of such IP that we have here is a deep facial model that tracks about 106 landmarks on the face. So anything that you do today on the face can be tracked, can be built on, and can be executed to bridge the gap between the customers and the brands. And the way we do it, there are a series of products that we have that brings these brands and the customers closer by means of these experiences. And one such experience that we have is called virtual makeup. Now, as we all know it, virtual makeup has been one of the cornerstone in last 1 or 2 years. In fact, 2022 has been recognized as the beauty AI year, where most of the brands are actually coming forward to integrate this experience into their websites, onto their kiosk in the offline retail stores, or otherwise in their mobile apps. What that does, basically, it allows customer to try on and experience all the beauty product, be it lipstick, be it eyeshadow, liners, foundations, and understand the overall sensitivity of how the makeup will look like. And this is essentially a great tool for tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities where you don't have the big retail stores, right? And neither you have the experts who can tell you what sort of makeup that will look better on you. And this is why the virtual makeup has been one of the cornerstone of beauty AI stack. We're rated as top 4 companies in the world to offer beauty AI stack, and that ranges from multiple products. The second flagship product that we have is called AI powered skin analysis. This particular product analyzes your skin just by taking selfie and gives you a quantified score on various skin elements as well as the strength and weaknesses of your skin. Now, this is amazing to see that, I get personalized skin understanding and skin routine, and then get a personalized recommendation based on my problems and my strength, which never been the case. We've seen most of the beauty startups or beauty companies predominantly had a question and answer based tool, which does not really draw a great insight in our opinion, and that needed to be changed. This product has gone through a rigorous research for 3 years. Dermatologists from UK, US, and India have participated in the research, and then finally culminated as a great product. Currently being used by Unilever London, Marico, ITC, Henkel, and some of the largest companies in the world. The third product that we have in the beauty AI stack is focused on the hair and the hair color segment, which is also the key position product. One of the key insight that we drawn from this product that South Africa is the market for hair extension. And many of these women, they don't have the way to figure out which hair extension would really look good on them. So they go to the store and they try multiple things. And how about if we can try that, at the comfort of your house, and really get to look an augmented look. It's not a fake look that generally 99.9% of the hair color or hairstyle product that you see in the market. This is one of the reasons all things hair, London has actually decided, and so is Tresemme in New York, has decided to build this product into their integration, into chatbots and their websites and so on and so forth. This is another medium which allows us to create a kiosk at a retail store, be it a standalone kiosk or iPads or tablets that you can have an immersive experience. Your beauty experts can give much more validated feedback to their customer rather than just selling forcibly, which appears quite unnatural. And that is what these tools do. They help you to sort of connect with the customer, understand the customer, skin understanding, their skin problems, and based on that, it can either recommend makeup and skin product, as we call it. The other such product that we have is called, and it's
sorry for the interruption. You have one last minute. Thank you.
Sure. So this is a product which allows you to not only figure out the entire the skin understanding or the skin impression from various angles and various perspectives, and allows you to recommend the product, which has never been the case before. People have always built these capabilities based on the previous and past experience of the user. Now you actually have the customer information in terms of eye color or face color, the skin tone, the hair color, the lip color, and there are other additional parameters that goes into creating a recommendation product of this sort, which connects the brand and which allows you to create a seamless experience. The team behind this, along with my co-founders, these are some of the leading AI scientists in India. I've had an opportunity to work with global retail such as Adidas, Ralph Lauren, and Quicksilver in LA. We've been, blessed to have, father of Intel who has invested in our startup, and we're very much here in Mumbai. So happy to take questions and connect with brands if they think that we can offer some, insight and capabilities to them.
Thanks a lot, Manoj. Really appreciate that. Great presentation there. We move on to the next startup for the day. We have the next startup coming up from the fresh food supply chain vertical. We have with us Cuisance Labs. Cuisance Labs is building the next generation IoT solution for fresh food quality assessment and management. Today, we'll have Rubal Chip, co-founder Cuisance Labs, who will be walking us through the presentation. Congratulations, welcome Rubal, and over to you. Hi Rubal, you can unmute yourself switch on your camera and go ahead with the presentation.
Yeah, thanks, Ravi. So I think I wasn't able to unmute myself.
That's all right, no issues.
Yeah, I'll be sharing the presentation. Yes. I am not able to see the option for that.
1 second, Rubel. Hold on a second, please.
Yeah.
You will be able to share your screen now. Please check. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm still not able to. There's some issue.
Maybe if you can share the presentation with me, I can share. You can start with a quick intro. I'm figuring out your presentation, Rupal.
All right. Thanks, Ravi. So, yeah, hi everyone. I'm Rubel from Cuisance Labs. We are building an end-to-end solution for fresh food quality assessment. What we are doing is we are providing holistic solution for measuring and optimizing fresh food operations from farm to fork. We have solution for assessing the internal quality parameters of food products like fruits, vegetables, meat, and predict the current health and state of the commodities, and uh, give a good assessment of the shelf life of the commodities, helping in reducing the inventory inefficiencies, also improving the overall fresh food operations. So one of our product is QScan, which helps in assessing the quality of fruits, giving insights on the sugar content, the sweetness levels, ripeness levels, maturity, also predicting the current stage of the fruit maturity and predicting the optimal shelf life of it. We also have another product that similarly works for fish and meat, giving you assessment of the freshness and the approximate harvest time of the fish, helping again in reducing the spoilage that happens in the inventory. Ravi, can we?
Yes, Rubal, your presentation is coming up in 30 seconds.
Okay.
Sorry for that challenge, everyone. We are just starting the presentation for Cuisance Labs here now. Coming up on the screen now. Rubal, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, we are, as I explained, it's a end-to-end solution, starting from procurements till the retail store. We optimize the fresh food operations. Our QScan device can be used in assessing inward quality checks and also at procurement level. It's a handheld device which assesses the quality of the food products. Once the products come into the warehouse, these are generally stored, where our product called QLog, it's a logger, helps in assessing the rate of degradation of those commodities. It's based on the sense of smell, and it acts like a logger, which is a internet connected logger, helps in the storage during the storage, as well as when the inventory is moving in logistics. At the retail store level also, the solution can be employed to assess the quality as well as to efficiently store the inventory. So the technology involved is a unique combination of near infrared spectroscopy, which is employed in the SKU scan, helping in assessing and grading the fresh food commodities, while we are employing the sense of smell or artificial olfaction in the Q logger, which helps in assessing the internal quality as well as the rate of degradation of the commodity stored. Both this data and the insights are provided on a web dashboard, also a mobile app on which the insights can be viewed. We currently have already filed 2 patents on it, and the whole hardware developed is in-house. Yeah, Ravi. So currently we are serving 3 major clients, including Udaan, Captain Fresh, and Country Delight. Yeah, next. So in Udaan, we are using QScan, helping them do a very deep level of vendor assessment. Using the device, we are able to know the quality of inward inventory that is coming from multiple vendors. The vendor assessment is a part of our dashboard feature, where we are providing what quality of fruits they are procuring, and all the SKUs, and what is the current health and how they are performing. So we currently are solving that issue for knowing the quality that they are procuring for, and also currently working on a automatic solution using a conveyor system, where the same device would be used for sorting and grading at a larger scale at their warehouses. For Captain Fresh, we are using the second product. That's the scanner for the fish. We are providing the freshness levels in terms of the number of hours from harvest. The grade of the fish depends on the number of hours that has passed till the harvest has happened. So it's again a point device for scanning the quality of the product and knowing at what level that is. That is one product, and obviously for the fish and meat also we have a second product, a logger, which we are currently testing out for the storage of the same. Yeah. So for Country Delight, we are doing a combination of both the technologies, where the handheld device will help again in knowing the inward quality of the collection center, at the collection center, to know what kind of inventory is coming in, the parameters, and also the vendors, assessing the vendors. While for their cold rooms, we are installing a logger, which will be helping in assessing the gaseous compounds like ethylene, CO2, oxygen, hence giving a good estimate of the rate of degradation and how the inventory is during the storage. So talking about the team, we have a team which includes experts in hardware, software, machine learning, data scientists, mechanical design, testing. It's a team of 24 plus, and Shristi and I have co-founded it. I come in with a background in IoT. I have around 10 years of experience in building IoT products in India as well as internationally, while Shristi brings her data science experience, specifically working in the field of biology for 12 years. We are currently serving customers in Karnataka, Maharashtra, and Himachal. So very happy to talk to anyone who has all the clients who have a requirement for fresh food maintenance or operations, and anything relating to fresh food quality. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ruben. A great presentation. We move on to the next startup, which also happens to be the final startup for the day. We have with us a very interesting electric mobility tech-enabled EV as a service company, Zip Electric. Zip Electric is a B2B delivery and shared mobility app. It is working to convert all deliveries for e-commerce, grocery, medicine, and food vertical to go electric with e-scooter sharing application. Today we'll have with us Bikram Sinha from Zip Electric talking about the opportunity. Bikram, over to you.
Yeah, hi Ravi. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. I'll just share my screen. So we at Zip Electric is trying to transform last mile delivery through electric vehicles. And why logistic company want to go electric as of now? Because of costlier last mile, total cost of ownership is high in IC engines as compared to EVs, and also ESG mandates and sustainability goals also. And with petrol bike workers as a gig worker, they usually work for 10 hours a day and hardly saves rupees 10,000 per month with all the petrol costs and everything. So it causes a huge attrition there. So that is one of the thing. And we are working with the motto of mission zero emission. And we are looking to take last mile to go 100% electric by 2030. And as our offering, we are working with many reputed OEMs for the bike procurement and deliverance to the riders. We also have our own infrastructure, charging infrastructure, as well as partner charging infrastructure also with our clientele. We are using technology to drive the utilization of electric vehicles, and with a pool of investors for the bike procurement. We do provide trained and quality drivers or delivery partners. We also provide 24 hours maintenance and care services at our JIP hubs to all the drivers, delivery partners deployed by us. How we usually work in this? We get aggregated demand from the large clients or partners, and with proper agreement and contracts, we commit them with the proper SLAs on electric vehicles. Talking about our traction, right now we have more than 2,500 electric vehicles deployed in Delhi NCR. We are targeting to go up to 5,000 by March 22. And in terms of growth, we are growing at more than 30% month on month. Right now, we are standing at annual recurring revenue of $5.5 million, which we are targeting for $10 million by April 22. In the right now we are present in Delhi NCR, and moving forward within a month or two we'll be present in four more cities: Hyderabad, Mumbai, Bangalore, and Pune. Till now, with the mission zero emission, we have almost saved 3.5 million kgs of CO2 till now. So we have three models for our clientele. One is B2B logistics, where we provide electric vehicles as well as delivery partners, riders also. So this model we are working with large clientele with a dedicated model at their hubs. Second model we are providing is that there are many delivery partners or executives who are not onboarded with us, but they are delivering for different clients and different partners. So we provide them rental also. They can just rent out our electric vehicles with different rental plans ranging from 7 days to 45 days, and they can use the electric vehicles to go electric. And the third model is buy and earn, and this is for any individual who want to earn from by investing in electric vehicles. Basically they need to put in money for the electric vehicles, and they will get fixed returns every month with that. And Zip Electric will be deploying those vehicles for deliveries, and its return is up to 20.06%. We have OEM partners and leasing partners for that also. Talking about clientele, we are working with Amazon, Grofers, Big Basket, Zepto, Zomato, Zeomart, Uber, Shadowfax, and likes of them, all the major players in last mile delivery. And right now, recently, we just tried to penetrate grocery segment, as we know grocery is getting into a faster delivery, 10-minute delivery services also. And we are happy to say that already we have captured and penetrated more than 40% of last mile delivery in grocery category in Delhi NCR, including big clients at Grofers, Jepto, Big Basket, Ola Dash also, which have recently launched their grocery delivery segment. Right now, we are the leading player in grocery category. Similarly, moving forward, our focus will be growth in other categories as well, likes of pharma, FMCG, courier, and etc. Right now, we are heavily present in Delhi NCR and partially in Hyderabad, working with a big basket. And moving forward, in within a month or two, we are looking to expand to other cities also: Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, Chennai, Kolkata and Jaipur. Our team size as of now is more than 250 plus, and 2500 plus delivery partners who are delivering on our electric vehicles. So thank you all. If there is any partnership opportunity or any need of last mile delivery services through electric vehicles, feel free to contact us at bd@zip.
Thanks a lot, Bikram. Appreciate that. That was a great presentation from Zip Electric. We come to the final leg of the event. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the guests for your kind patience. Before I invite Rajiv, the co-founder IncubateHub, for his closing remarks, I would take this opportunity to invite Ms. Shivika to share a few words. Shivika is Shivika is currently strategy lead, VP, head of portfolio development, and ESG officer at Venture Catalyst Group. Shivika, request you to kindly share a few words, please.
Hi everyone. Thank you for joining us, and we are very optimistic about this partnership of ours with of 9 Unicorns and Venture Catalyst with the IncubateHub, and we look at providing a holistic offering to all the corporates from both investment point of view and innovation point of view. And about this event, quickly, so basically this is going to be our flagship event the way D-Day is. So D-Day is purely from the investment point of view, and this corporate day, which the short form is C-Day, this is going to be purely from the top line push and business development point of view. And it is going to be a quarterly activity, and we'll do a lot of, we'll choose specific themes the way we chose CPG for this particular C-Day. Similarly, we're going to choose relevant and impactful themes for the rest of the C-Days. So really look forward to your feedback, and yeah, see you again. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Shivika. Appreciate that. Let me take this opportunity. I'm just waiting for Rajiv to join in here. I take this opportunity to invite my friend and co-founder of IncubateHub, Mr. Rajiv Mukherjee. Rajiv, request you to kindly share the closing remarks with the audience today.
Hey, sorry, I missed it. Just joined right now.
I was just saying, I'm very glad to welcome my old friend and co-founder IncubateHub.
Thanks a lot.
We had a great event, Rajiv. Request you to kindly conclude the event. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks all of you. Thanks all the startups who presented. Thanks to all the corporate leaders who participated in this program. And the way we want to take it forward, as Sivika said, is that we love to engage with all the corporate partners, understand your requirements, your use cases, your specific problem statements. So Pradeep will be reaching out to you. We would like to understand your use cases and try to see that if we can match the right startups who can work with you, co-create solutions with you, have joint go-to-market opportunities with you. So that's what we will try to do. That is the whole purpose of theme-based accelerators that we are launching. This is the launch of CPG retail, specifically tech-enabled. We will have multiple such showcases, the D-Days, but apart from the D-Day, which will happen every 3 months, on a monthly basis, we will have a lot of startup showcase. We will have a lot of corporate startup connects, a lot of domain-specific sessions, expert sessions that we will be doing. And we will look forward to all of you to join and participate and have a more engaging kind of conversation. The entire objective is to help the ecosystem, specifically the CPG retail e-commerce ecosystem. So again, thanks to all of you. Thanks to all the speakers, the VCATS team, Ravi, Pradeep, Sivika, and the entire team to kind of come with this event. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Raju. Really appreciate that. That brings us to the end of the maiden C-Day, the launch of the theme-based accelerator, and also the very interesting, combination of startups and all our corporate partners. On behalf of Venture Catalyst Group, IncubateHub, and all the startups and all our co-founders, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the guests, the startups, and everyone else who joined this event, for taking out time from a busy schedule. Our team would send out more information about all the startups presented today. If you require any more information, you can get in touch with the IncubateHub team or anyone at Venture Catalyst. We wish you a great week ahead and look forward to host you again for the next event. Thank you so much.